Today we have 10 facts you did not know about the stock market, even you've been trading or investing for a while. And since we're all degens, addicts, following the markets day in and day out, I think it's important for us to know this. So the first fun fact of the day is, the stock market will continue to fall if you don't smash the like button. So the first fun fact is, the stock market is actually more than 400 years old. Did you know the first ever stock market was actually established in Amsterdam? In 1602, the Dutch East India Company set up the Amsterdam Stock Exchange in order to raise capital by selling their company's shares to the public. Investors all around were invited to purchase shares, and they were given depository receipts for their investments. These receipts were the first forms of company shares to be ever issued. The Amsterdam Stock Exchange is now more commonly known as the Euronext Amsterdam. Despite opening more than 400 years ago, the basics of the Amsterdam Stock Exchange in the 1600s work the same as the stock markets today, connecting potential investors with investment opportunities and businesses with investors for capital injections. This is very interesting to me. I've never been to Amsterdam, but I really want to. It's on the top of my travel bucket list. But I know this is where the tulip bubble first started in 1634, I think, and the bubble burst in 1637. Fun fact about the stock market number 2. There are more than 60 stock exchanges in the world. According to the data presented by the Money Project, there are 60 major stock exchanges in the world, with a value totaling over $69 trillion. There are 17 of them in Asia, such as the Taiwan Stock Exchange, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, Shanghai and Hong Kong Stock Exchanges. There are also 17 exchanges in Europe, led by Euronext, which is formerly known as the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, and the London Stock Exchange. Moving on to North America, we have the biggest stock exchanges in the world, the New York Stock Exchange, followed by the Nasdaq and the Toronto Stock Exchange. There are 9 exchanges in Middle East, 5 in Africa, 5 in South America, and 1 in Australia, 1 in New Zealand. So I was actually surprised that there are that many stock exchanges in the world. I know living in North America, trading the Nasdaq and the NYSE, it's really easy to assume that those are the only markets that matter and that has volume. But it's definitely not the case. Out of all the exchanges we mentioned, the largest stock exchanges by market cap as of August 2022 is still the New York Stock Exchange, followed by the Nasdaq, both of which I actually had a chance to visit in June of this year, just a couple months ago. So make sure to check out that video of my tour if you haven't done so already. But what really surprised me on this list is that the Shanghai Stock Exchange is the 3rd biggest stock market in the world. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Did you know there's a stock market for pirates? Yes, you heard that right. There's a pirate stock market in Somalia, where the locals can invest in pirate games, planning hijacking missions. Essentially, when a pirate mission is successful, the investors, who are often the Somalian families that are struggling, they earn a share of the total profits. The pirate stock investors can sponsor these missions with anything from food, kerosene, weapons, or information, or just cash. And they can also trade their shares by reselling them to another potential investor. Really works the same way as our regular stock market. According to this article online, one lady in Somalia funded a weapon for a local group, and in return, she received a $75,000 return. But it's definitely risky. Given the lack of liquidity for this kind of investment and zero regulation and possibly some corruption, you can lose a lot more than just your money. Learning about this fun fact literally blew my mind. This just tells you that there's a market for anything these days. I don't know, I think this kind of alternative investment is definitely riskier than investing in Bitcoin. Speaking of my Bitcoin investments,
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
Moving on to fun fact number 4. The stock market got the names bear and bull from a traditional activity of the Spanish Knights. In the early 20th century, the Spanish knights in California, known as the Caballeros, put grizzlies in battle with the bulls. They observed that the bears swiped downwards to attack, and the bulls hooked upwards when attacking. So that's why today the stock market is described as bullish or bearish due to its analogy to the animals. However, there's a sad truth behind this analogy. The brutal bull and bear fight led to the extinction of the California grizzlies in the 1920s. Fun fact number 5. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is the most expensive publicly traded stock of all time. For those who don't know, Berkshire Hathaway is Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, his holding company. Here's a full list of their top holdings. Berkshire Hathaway has two classes of shares, Class A common shares and Class B. They are both listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The Class A shares, BRK.A, hit an all-time high on January 18, 2022 at $487,255, which is the most expensive a publicly traded share of all time. Now the shares are trading around $428,800, and the Class B shares are trading around $284. I'm just curious, does anyone watching this video actually invest in Warren Buffett's company? Let me know in the comment section down below if you've been an investor or trader of BRKA or Class B shares. For me, I don't own any of the Berkshire Hathaway shares, but I do invest in Apple heavily. Now you can follow my long-term portfolio for all of my updates on the Blossom app. I'll leave a link down below as well. Number 6. September is the worst month in the stock market, historically speaking. According to the Stock Traders Almanac, September is the month when the stock market's 3 leading indices really perform the poorest since the year 1950. So the 3 leading indices are the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Nasdaq. Some investors have called this the September effect. I do think the September effect is pretty accurate, especially this year. September 2022 was supposed to be the worst monthly decline in the stock market since the pandemic hit. For the month, Dow Jones lost 8.8%, S&P 500 fell by 9.3%, and the Nasdaq ended with 10.5% lower. And year-to-date, the Nasdaq is down around 32%, S&P 500 negative 21%, and the Dow Jones is down about 10%. What can I say? All my investments are down this year. So make sure to smash your like button if yours is doing the same too. Number 7. The US stock market had an 11-year bull market run before it was broken in 2020. Wall Street's record-breaking 11-year bull market came to an end on March 11, 2020, as fears about the spreading disease pandemic hit the stock markets. Before that, the US stocks have been on an unprecedented streak since 2009. I think it's safe to say that for most people watching this video, we are drawn to the market because of the bull run, especially in the last 5 years. With the Fed finally acknowledging that we are indeed in a recession, a lot of people are not scared of the uncertainties. However, I do want to remind everyone that riches are made in recession. In my opinion, as long as you are carefully reviewing your investments, separating that from your trading, and managing risk well for especially your trading account, the next 2 years is a great opportunity to capitalize while everyone is so fearful. I recently interviewed some of the biggest and the most famous traders in the trading community. They shared a lot of valuable trading advice that came from years of experience. So don't miss out if you haven't watched the interviews already. Number 8. Stock charts don't have to be complicated to read. I do think that learning technical analysis and chart reading is the bare minimum of learning to trade if you want to be a trader. But if you are an investor holding stocks for more than 5 years, then chart analysis is really not necessary. This is just from my own experience as both a trader and investor. Technical analysis is subjective, But at the same time, it's not complicated at all. Make sure you're zooming out and start from the weekly and daily charts, especially if you're swing trading. Then analyze the highs and the lows for support and resistance. Number 9, and this is one of the most important concepts here. Experienced traders are good losers. This is a common idea that I heard in discussions with many traders I met at Traders for a Cause. Learning how to lose and managing your risk is definitely the most crucial skills in trading. Unfortunately, most beginner traders hold on to losers for too long, or have one loss wipe out weeks or months of gains, or even worse, blow up their entire account. That's why good traders are good losers. They know how to cut their loss and live to trade another day. Number 10, stock manipulation is real. Yes, you heard that right, kids. Stock manipulation is real and it's part of everyday life in the stock market. So that's why risk management is the most important skill in trading. I know I might get some heat for saying this. Once again, I am not saying stock market manipulation is fair or moral or they should exist. But without manipulation in the stock market, there will be a lot less volatility for traders, and there might not be any opportunities at all in small caps or micro caps especially. Remember, the stock market is not designed to be fair, especially after seeing what happened with the meme stocks like GME, AMC in 2021, and a lot of these Chinese stock pumps this year like HKD and ATXG. I know it's not fair, but that's why these inefficiencies in the stock market are actually opportunities to profit for us traders. Don't hate the players, hate the game. As always, I hope you guys learned something fun or educational from this video. Comment down below if you have any more interesting facts about the stock market that other people may not know. If you're looking for step-by-step lessons on trading strategies that I personally use, then don't forget to check the playlist down below. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm the Humble Trader, and I'll see you guys next time.